Ladies and gentlemen, Reaction. This is 5 terrifying unit types that make Space Marine look pathetic. This is gonna be good. Yeah, the one thing I've learned about Warhammer 40k, this Space Marine is supposed to be the OP class of everything. I guess that's at least that's what I got from all these creators, talking about the lore. But yeah, the 5 units that makes look pathetic. Like, this is not even like, make it look weak, no, make it look pathetic, which means they are really OP compared to Space Marine. Like, how they're gonna look. There's some okay. This is my channel Major Kill, obviously. I'm gonna have to think about this. Like, what? Who are they going to be? I don't know. One of the some not famous Xenos races might be involved. I guess I don't know. I mean, unit. Is he talking about the Imperium? Like, this is about Imperium or Xenos are involved? I don't know. This is gonna be a fun video. I love anything Warhammer 40k related. Obviously, I try to react to as much as I can because the more lore, the better. I just did the old ones video from Major Kill yesterday, which was like interesting. I didn't know old ones created humans. Directly, indirectly, doesn't matter. Yeah, but old ones are like literally the gods of Warhammer 40k. Katrans are like the devourers, destroyers. They didn't create shit. Old ones are the one who created literally everything, basically. So that was interesting. But yeah, like I said in the video, like War of the Heavens needs to be expanded a lot. That would be fun. So let's watch this one. Remember, if you like my Rickson, don't subscribe so I know which type of videos to react to more. Check out the Rick Sunday, there's a link in the description. I did a lot of Warhammer 40k video. If you haven't seen them, yeah, check that out. Yeah, that's what it.
G'day guys and gal. So much of the time, Warhammer is all about jerking off named characters. Who's this little guardsman? Jerry. Sweet. Now Jerry has a name, he can 1v1 an avatar of Cain. Who's this cute space marine? Thurman Merman. Done deal. He can solo close the Eye of Terror. It's bullshit. Having a name that a narrator can read out loud shouldn't automatically make you as overpowered as Popeye, but that's the reality of Warhammer 40k. But is this always the case? Are there
it's just like you're going like opposite direction. Only reason they have name because they're that powerful to begin with. That's why they have this like specific name. It's not the other way around.
dudes and dudettes out there who have no name but can consistently kick huge amount of ass, even the ass of otherwise named characters? Hell yeah there are, otherwise this video wouldn't exist. Before we get started, guys and gal, the Major Kill minis, not just STL files, but the actual physical minis themselves that get sent to your address, are stocked and ready to go. You like sharks? We got a big shark daddy and some little of these shark boys. You like spikes? Terminator Lord gotcha. And why not take your squad of chaotic marines while you're there? You like elves? The Space Elf Deathlord and his hot little Space Elf Longlookers are waiting. All prices are in Australian, which means that international shipping worldwide literally costs $10 US. Name another brand that would send you an international item for $10. And that's if your order is under $100 Australian. If it's over, then shipping is completely free. So get down and support your plastic crack addiction while supporting this guy. Today we're going to go over 5 unnamed characters / unit types that could body even the hardiest of named Space Marines. Units that make Chuck Norris look like an aborted zygote. I'll be discussing how common they are, rare they are, what makes them so terrifying to face in combat, and then I'll provide some examples where they take scrubs to the pound town. I'm not messing around, team. Everyone I mentioned on this list could bend your dick all the way around your body until you're forced to penetrate your own rectal cavity. Not joking. This is my serious face. Let's get into it.
Where does he get those words, man? Those are some detailed descriptions.
The first foe that could fucking flip a fillip on his fat face are the Custodes. Everyone knows by now that I am game for the boys in gold.
So I guess you're gonna mention Custodes, Grey Knights, obviously. Grey Knights can fuck a Space Marine. Like, Primarchs. Yeah, this is like one of the obvious shit, okay.
Gay way. Their badass attitude, single-minded purpose, and surprisingly deep and rich personalities make them actually quite interesting to read about in the lore. But it's their badass battle gear, perfect bodies, and an obscene talent for turning bad guys into sashimi which puts them on this list.
Oh shit, my background, this background kind of like merges, that feels freaky.
Custodes are called the 10,000, as there is generally 10,000 of them active at any one time, but this number obviously drops a lot during times of war. They are incredibly difficult to create, requiring a young child with perfect genetics, as well as secret augmentation techniques to even begin to make a Custodes. From there, the Custodes will go into obscene amounts of training, preparing to face any and all threats the galaxy has to offer. To do this, the Custodes have a game where they will release various dangerous enemies into the Imperial Palace and then hunt them down and murder them. This is called the Blood Games, and it gets really out of hand. They'll dump entire Chaos Warbands.
See that? These are the good guys. Seriously, imagine somebody just went to, if this Warhammer 40k universe, let's just say there are multiverses, and there's literally another universe where Warhammer 40k is a real thing. Just somebody's like, Emperor, Imperium, this is humanity. These are the protectors of humanity. Let's have a blood game. Release the people just for a hunt, just so we can have fun. All these terrifying prisoners running about and they're just massacring them. Like, yeah, these are the good guys.
Tyranid swarms, Dark Eldar raiders, and all manners of beasts, right on their doorstep purely for recreational entertainment and training. During the war in the Webway, where the Custodes had to basically hold off an entire endless legion of demons for years, they would fight on their feet for weeks at a time. One Custode got half his brain torn out, and he still kept fighting and went on to actually survive.
How does that work?
This is just one example of them being wildly hard to kill. Another Custode got a spear
Brain
thrown in
easy,
his
how does
head,
that work?
and as the enemy was yanking it out of what he thought was a corpse, the Custode was staring at him with rage in his eyes, still alive and conscious, despite the ridiculous wound he had just suffered. Here's one more example, which is honestly quite ridiculous, but I love it. 6 Custodians were protecting some Primaris gene tech, and they got attacked by some Tyranids. The Custodes then made their last stand on the edge of a volcano, and they held off a swarm of 1 million Tyranids between 6 Custodes. They actually beat the Tyranids, like they killed all of them, with only 1 Custodian surviving, but like, what the fuck? Like, 6 Custodes versus 1 million Tyranids, including elite Tyranid units, and the Swarm Lord, and the Custodes won. It should kind of phrase how just ridiculous they are. It's no wonder that the Emperor himself literally said that he would rather watch 1,000 Space Marines die before one of his Custodes did.
I mean, yeah, it kind of makes sense. They are literally the perfect things that he created by the end, right? So it kind of makes sense. But yeah, imagine the Tyranids. It's going back to the talking the Howmans. Like, what the fuck are those golden things? How did they just kick our ass with just 6 of them? Like, whenever you see them, avoid them. I know it's our mentality is just to kill, and eat. But I guess there's a limit. We don't want to get our ass kicked this badly.
The dude's a badass. Just to take my point home, when the Custodes realized that Lorga was a traitor, they instantly attacked him. Before the wordbearers could even react, quite a few of them had been killed. High-ranking, powerful wordbearers as well. The next scary boy on this list are the Greater Demons of Chaos. The Greater Demons are the creme de la creme of chaos, often even eclipsing the legendary demon princes. They're handcrafted and
what?
Scary boy on this list are the Greater Demons of Chaos. The Greater Demons are the creme de la creme of chaos, often even eclipsing the legendary demon princes.
What?
They're handcrafted and empowered by their god.
I thought demon princes are literally like, the next best thing after the actual chaos gods. I didn't know they had, somebody was really better than them. The greater demons, never heard of them, this is new.
Chosen to lead the armies of hell in an orgy of destruction, metaphorically or quite literally in Slaanesh's case. From classic-styled horny demons to unique-looking even hornier demons, the Greater Demons of Chaos will never back down from a cheeky clapping. When the Blood Angels first encountered the forces of Khorne, the Greater Demon Kabanda was able to kill 500 Blood Angels with nearly 1 strike.
What the
fuck? It was
fuck?
like they were nothing, less than nothing.
What the fuck? 500 Blood Angels just with 1 strike. This feels like, okay, I guess like that was a bit too much, right? I mean, like he single-handedly killed 500, there you go, but just 1 strike? Like, how OP you have to be to do that shit? Blood Angels of all. Jesus.
Single Greater Demons have managed to wipe out entire planets through brute force or subtle manipulation. Even when they are taken out to show the badassery of another character, they always put up one hell of a fight. The Greater Demon, who was summoned during the pinnacle of the Siege of Rax, was able to wipe out a Grey Knight squad before being defeated. Grey Knights have been some of the only reliable demon killers around. Even Primarchs have consistently struggled against Greater Demons, with Gilliman being beaten by Kairos Fateweaver and Sanguinius losing his first round against Kabanda.
What?
No 2 Greater greater demons are the same, especially when comparing across different gods. Any who wish to face them need to be wildly prepared. For a great unclean one, they're incredibly tanky, which is bad because the longer you're near one, the weaker and sicker you get. So you've got to somehow break through their bulk before Super AIDS claims you. For Keepers of Secrets, their martial prowess is nearly unmatchable, and they can seed their darkness within your mind mid-battle. So you've got to fight off their physical form whilst also resisting their extremely overpowering corruption. Bloodthirsters are the mightiest of all. A single blow can raise a town and kill hundreds. Their rage and hatred that means only in death will they be beaten. Changes of ways are incredibly powerful in their magic and foresight. You'll have to survive an onslaught of pure warp energy, whilst your opponent knows every move you could ever make. All in all, if you take on a greater demon, you better be someone pretty fucking impressive. Or, you know, just have 1,000 tanks.
Imagine making a Souls type, demons, Souls type game, basically like Elden Ring, Warhammer 40k, where you have to fight these greater demon bosses, which are nearly impossible to kill, especially something like this, which can just predict your moves. Oh god. And okay, this is a major surprise for me, because I always assume like demons, the main thing about the chaos and the demons is, so like I said, like I always assume the whole chaos demons thing was that they are way too many in number and they never really dies. That's what makes them OP. Otherwise, Imperium forces like Primarchs, like Grey Knights and all these Space Marines are kind of OP when facing demons. I didn't know there is an actual demon like greater demons who are so fucking OP. They might as well be gods and they can kick ass of Space Marines like they're nothing. Even Primarchs might be not good enough for them. Like this just like to me makes the whole chaos things like really powerful now. Because to me it felt like number was their deal, because they never die. But now even with the power, these greater demons can just basically, it's like one of the greater demons basically with that greater demon fighting an actual titan, and I feel like even the titan would basically go down or some shit, because this is ridiculous.
Literally a scene in Warhammer lore where a bloodthirster appears and gets shot by 1,000 tanks and instantly dies. It's pretty dope. A bit left of center now, we have a Necron Overlord. Overlord is a rank within Necron society which grants a single Necron the power and control over one or more tomb worlds. As such, they have nearly unlimited resources to achieve their goals. All the fancy artifacts, technology, and
Overlord in Skyrim
can be transferred to them for their own selfish uses. As such, an Overlord is wildly powerful to face for the few that manage to face them. I say few because you have to go through an entire Necron army first. If you finally reach them, then you better be prepared, because they could literally throw anything at you. And I mean literally anything. They could instantly freeze you in a stasis field and then teabag you. They could put you in a Pokeball. They could summon an army out of a Pokeball. They could throw a Catan shard at you. They could reverse time if it looked as if you were somehow winning. They can also regenerate from pretty much every wound. For example, Grand High Marshal Helbrecht, the literal leader of the Black Templars, weaponized autism incarnate, dueled Overlord Emotech, and despite Helbrecht's skill, he couldn't beat the Overlord and actually got beaten and humiliated. Overlord Trazyn has the ability to copy himself and transfer his consciousness to different Necrons instantly, meaning he could do that fucking like Naruto Genjutsu shit.
Seriously?
An Overlord's weapon is also nuts. No two are the same, but the general vibe is that it can blow you the fuck up with very
Where
little
did you kill it and I'm taking over another bar? Like, what the fuck? I just killed you, man. Oh my god. Like, these are like, obviously Necron, I always had the image of like, if Necron really gets in number, they are like going to be most advanced and most powerful one, because they are, let's be honest, they are literally spawn of gods and they kill gods basically themselves. So yeah, Necrons had their full power to fuck everything up. And this Overlord feels like their one of the biggest power, like biggest representation of Necron's power. So it makes sense, right? This doesn't surprise me, like something like this would kick ass.
Especially Trazyn's Obliterator, which let him duel a Catan shard for a lot longer than you would think possible. Overlords tear through Space Marines and even clap named Space Marines with ease. Speaking of Catan shards, they themselves are very, very, very problematic to fight. The Catan were some of the first entities to exist in the galaxy. They were star parasites that were linked to the fundamental laws of the galaxy. When they were given shape and sentience by the Necron tier, they became an entirely different sort of beast.
I mean, Catans literally devour stars. I mean, stars are way too powerful things. If you can devour stars, like you're literally God. Come on.
They were now gods of the physical realm, and they acted as such. It was the Catan that defeated the Old Ones and drove the Masters of the Universe into extinction. By the end of the War in Heaven, there was literally only the Catan. The Old Ones' armies were in full retreat and the Necrons were their slaves. It was only when the Catan decided to turn on and eat each other did the rest of the galaxy have a chance. The Necrons rose up against their masters and shattered each Catan shard into thousands of different shards. As the Catan was so powerful and their existence was so important for the fundamental laws of the galaxy to operate, they could not be destroyed outright. Hence, just a shard, just a minute fraction of a Catan, is considered one of the greatest forces of destruction in the galaxy. Necrons use these shards to empower entire worlds, or as last-ditch efforts to overcome powerful foes. Catan shards belonging to the same original god can also merge, and if enough of them merge, they can become transcendent Catan shards, which is...
I mean, yeah, they split this Catan shard, yeah, same one merge and become more problematic. But yeah, isn't that the problem if they all merge, like Necron themselves are fucked? So they won't let that happen.
Very, very bad for whoever is in their way. Trazyn and Harlequin, two of the most powerful Necrons in existence, with the backup of an entire Necron army, an army of Gene Stealers, an army of Imperial Guard, and an army of Eldar Exodites, were only barely able to defeat a weak Transcendent Shard. And that was only because Harlequin decided to become a god for a bit. The largest Void Dragon Shard that is sleeping on Mars is likely the strongest Catan Shard in existence, and it took none other than the Emperor of Mankind to beat him in battle. If anyone else tried, they would have got instantly deleted.
Okay, what the fuck? Let me get this straight. The whole army of everything, basically, and let's say, fuck it, like even Primarchs as well, barely can take on like weaker shard. But the strongest shard in existence, Void Dragon, Emperor kicks his ass. So what is the disparity? Like how powerful Emperor is? Like I'm still in my mind, like I'm trying to put numbers to these power scales. And how powerful is Emperor compared to any other Imperium things? Like even the Primarchs. This is ridiculous.
And finally, the most terrifying unit type in the universe of 40k, a creature that just shouldn't exist, but does anyway.
Okay.
One who has given up their soul, knowing only damnation awaits them, purely so they can just murder more people, a Harlequin solitaire. The Harlequins as a faction are already very powerful, with each Harlequin being significantly faster and stronger than normal Eldar. They are few in number, but their impact is being felt throughout the galaxy. Thousands of worlds, both human and Eldar, are only still standing because the demonic army that was on the way to destroy it got intercepted by the Harlequins and massacred. The greatest of the Harlequins are called the Solitaires, who for a lack of a better term, are Eldar blanks. This makes them unreadable, resistant to Psyker and Warp Power, and completely horrifying to be around. For context,
I get it, like they're badass, but saying them are most horrible, we just talked about literal gods, like Catan shards and all that shit, literally Necron god level beings that never dies, like greater demons. Can you really say Harlequins are that level shit? I don't know. Like, okay, they're badass, but come on.
Someone who has a negative soul. Their soul acts as like a black hole which drains and diminishes the souls of those around them. Hence, nobody likes hanging out with blanks. Warp powers, which is literally just soul magic, also doesn't work around blanks. As Eldar souls are much larger, the black hole that a solitaire creates is massive. Being untouchable isn't their only power though. A solitaire is blindingly fast and skilled. There was a squad of elite chosen Chaos Marines that were ambushed by a single solitaire. The solitaire was so fast that he was able to systematically pick off the squad one by one without them ever seeing him despite their best efforts.
What the fuck?
As the squad leader is dying from a mortal wound, the solitaire bows in front of him, impressed with his own performance. Solitaires have been also known to take on greater demons, especially those that belong to Slaanesh, and come out on top, outsmarting the demons just as much as they outclass them. They can also like low-key eat Eldar souls for nourishment, which is a bit grim, but hey, I guess there has to be some kind of drawback for being one of the most powerful units in the galaxy. A solitaire will never, ever die in vain. Their deaths have always saved the lives of millions of others, sometimes entire craft worlds. A solitaire's soul is promised to Slaanesh, which is one of the reasons why they're so powerful. However, when they die, the laughing god Sir Gorach will still try to save their souls anyway due to how important they are. Moral of the story, you see a spry clown with some demon horns, you better pray that you haven't jacked off weirdly that day. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel...
Alright, didn't know that solitaires or whatever, like they were this level of badassery. Damn, I really need to see deep lore about them. I don't know, did Luton make a video about that or something? Yeah, I need to check that shit out. Because I never, okay, he really put them equal to these guard-like creatures. So to my mind, that makes them really fucking terrifying. But okay. Alright, people, that was 5 terrifying units types that make Space Money look pathetic. By channel Major Kill. If you like money, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.